Hello and welcome to another episode of Roguelite Roulette. Full disclosure, I've had to restart this video twice now because Gamecaster is being very finicky about this game for some reason. As you can see, I've already spun the wheel and we've pulled Curious Expedition. Normally in this instance, I would just restart, respin, but I'm interested in trying this game out. I've never played it before. So, without further ado, let's start the game up. And of course, for some goddamn reason, the recording software is not picking it up again. Let me just pause real quick. Okay. I'm just gonna pray that it's picking up my voice. Actually, I'm gonna make sure it's picking up my voice because this game is gonna come down to me reading. So, okay, everything looks like it's okay. Let me start my timer and let's get going. So, never played the game, so it's probably a good idea to play the tutorial. Okay. The last thing I remembered was that our ship neared the shore of our expedition destination. Suddenly, a storm shook our vessel, and I was thrown overboard. It seemed I had been stranded here all alone. I needed to find a route back to the ship or find help elsewhere. No matter the cost, I had to start moving immediately if I did not want to die alone. Let's go. Welcome to Curious Expedition tutorial. Drag the map by holding down left click and moving the mouse. Zoom in and out by using your mouse wheel or by pressing the plus and minus button on the keyboard. Move the mouse over fields to see a travel preview. Left click to set a waypoint. Click on your last waypoint to start moving, or use the travel button in the lower center of your screen. Right click removes waypoints. Move inland now. Every time you move, you will lose some sanity. Nice. Each move has a base sanity cost, so try to move in longer distances to be effective. Continue traveling inland. Question marks indicate a location to visit. Through experience, you will learn to read the patterns that surround locations. Move within 2 fields to uncover its type. It's an old campsite. Once you are on or in the field next to a location, you can visit it. Move closer and interact with it by clicking the Explore button at the lower center of your screen. I approached an old campsite which held the debris of what seemed to be a failed expedition from long before we had stepped foot in this land. The few mortal remains were long rotten. Desperate to find something that would keep me alive, I searched the area. To my surprise, one of the rotten crates contained some useful equipment. So we got chocolate rations, delicious chocolate wrapped in foil, used to refill some sanity. Nice. And colorful marbles, a good trading object. Take all of that. You can hold on. Get this thing out of the way. Go away. You can restore your sanity through various means, such as resting at certain places or using certain items. Left-click the chocolate rations at the bottom of your screen to consume them now. Native villages are one of the most important locations to visit on each expedition. Move to the village and enter it. It has surely been days since the last time I saw another living being, so I was relieved to see humans again. The villagers quickly gathered around me, observing with great curiosity. I breathed a sigh of relief as I realized they were friendly and offered to help me in my dire situation. I decided to spend a night in the village. One of the villagers told me that he had seen a giant wooden fish several days ago. Was he talking about my ship? I got a splendid night's rest. The next morning I woke to face a gathering of natives. It seems my undergarments shocked them. I still felt welcome amongst these people. For a moment I considered just staying in the village and leaving everything behind me, but I quickly shook off the feeling I needed to find my ship. You can see what they have to offer in the top bar. For now, you only want to increase your standing with the villagers, though. Offer them all of the marbles in your inventory by right-clicking them. You are offering more than you are asking for. You are offering more than you are asking for. The deal button has become green and shows you that accepting the trade now will increase your standing. Click the green button to accept the deal. Now that your standing has improved, it is time to recruit a villager. I sat down and spoke with the natives to find out if any adventurous spirits were interested enough to join my cause. A few months later, I gathered the interested individuals and needed to decide who to recruit. You can inspect the attributes of each character by hovering over their name or image. Choose your new Trek member. A warrior. They're all warriors. Yavum, Yawazubil, Kanasezwa, Kanazesa. Looks like they all have the same things. I'll take Yavum. It's time to leave the village and continue looking for our ship. Yavum, the warrior, joined the trek. I still felt welcome amongst these people. For a moment, I already read that. We packed up the trek and departed, as new adventures awaited us. The villagers have told you about a giant wooden fish. Maybe this is where your ship is located. Head towards the new question mark. A villager caught up with us. It was the father of Yavun. He was concerned with the well-being of his child and insisted on giving us some valuables to ensure her safety. That's a chick? I had no choice but to accept the offered goods because he would not take no for an answer. So we got some mangoes, animal meat. Mangoes don't look like they restore sanity. The animal meat does. A torch can come in handy whenever you need to bring light to darkness. Got mushroom. Increases viewing distance. Okay. You are overburdened. How much you can carry depends on the capacity of your units. You can still move, but your sanity loss is greatly increased when traveling. Right-click the torch. You won't need that torch, trust me. Click the crate symbol right next to the inventory to drop the torch. Now that you are no longer overburdened, it is time to head towards the question mark. Feel free to consume some of your supplies to regain sanity before moving. Alright, fuck it. Oh, whoops. You are being attacked. The combat system works by rolling dice and combining them into attacks. Start by clicking the roll button. You rolled stability and mind faces. That's no valid combo. Keep the mind face by clicking on it. You can re-roll all dice that you did not keep. Click the roll button. You found a valid combination. Possible combos are indicated by vibrating dice. Click the shield icon, shield to see the die. You selected 2 dice that form a valid combo. Every combo has a different effect. A mind and shield face allows you to trigger the combo Tactical Advantage, which allows you to build up your defense. Trigger the combo by clicking the big button. You also rolled a sword face on the red die selected now. This one can trigger an attack on its own. You can trigger any combo of dice as long as you have rolled the fitting dice faces. Let's trigger the attack. Okay. As you saw, you can trigger multiple combos per round, but right now you don't have any dice left. It is time for the enemies to react. Click the end round button. It is the enemy's turn now. They are attacking you. Jesus Christ, he fucked me up. As long as you have not rolled any dice, you may also try to flee. These enemies are a bit too strong for us. Click the flee button. We had to retreat. You have successfully made it to the ship. Very good. Your crew and equipment has been waiting for you here. I had finally made it to the ship, where my crew was awaiting me eagerly. Together with them, I was sure our expedition would be a success henceforth. It was time to stock up on supplies and head out, again for fame and glory. Thankfully, the tiger is gone. The compass in the upper left corner will point to the direction of the Golden Pyramid. However, initially its accuracy is very bad. Explore some more to improve it. There is another question mark. Go find out what it is. Very good. You have found all locations within this region. This grants you a region point, which can be used to increase the rank of one of your units. Now click on a unit with a green plus to promote it. Promoting a unit will make it more effective and increase its loyalty towards you. Now that you are done with promoting, explore the shrine you have just found. So you got more health. Maybe his loyalty increased a bit. We arrived at the majestic structure, seemingly a holy shrine to the inhabitants of the region. Its stone walls were covered with ornate engravings. Grand stairs led up to an enormous doorway. The surface about the structure emitted considerable warmth. It was still possible to walk there, but the potential source of heat was disconcerting. Shrines are sacred places of the tribes living in each expedition area. Here you are able to find valuable artifacts, but taking them will drastically reduce your standing towards the natives. You don't have to loot shrines and steal holy artifacts to play this game. However, for the sake of demonstration, do it now. We carefully entered a well-preserved ceremonial chamber. If this place held any riches, I knew we would find them here. I held my breath as we discovered an ancient altar in the center. A peculiar golden statuette. The letters Siokra are carved on the bottom, a possible indication for some kind of native religious figure. Whoops, this may have been bad advice. Besides negative consequences towards the natives, looting shrines will also trigger ancient curses like this volcano outbreak. This was not the day for hesitation. The treasure was to be mine. The moment we obtained the treasure, the earth began to shift. We fled as fast as we could as the shrine collapsed before our very eyes, and a volcano began to rise, spitting fire and oozing lava. Escape the volcano outbreak and head in the direction of your compass that your compass is indicating. The smoke was too escape the volcano. Okay, the smoke was too thick to see further than a few feet. A sudden wall of flames separated Mr. Lob from us. His body immediately caught fire, but we were unable to help him. I dreamed about this death long after. I saw Dadab Hai Meta, witnessing the horror in silent awe. Fuck. The Golden Pyramid loomed above one and all, overcoming such difficult obstacles we had yet survived. Congratulations, you have completed the tutorial. There is a great deal more to discover about Curious Expedition, and we wish you lots of fun exploring and learning our game. Adventure awaits. After all this hardship, extraordinary pride overcame me. I knew that this name, Charles Darwin, would not be forgotten. Alright. Okay, so I guess I kind of understand how to play. Guess we'll find out. I'm just going to start with Charles Darwin. Welcome back to the Explorers Club, old friend. I have... word is that you have good chance of seeing your likeness on a statue. However, I am afraid to tell you that you are not the only candidate. You and your rivals have 6 expeditions to prove who is the most famous explorer within our club. Now go explore. Adventure awaits. I'll just do expedition mode. Why not? Choose your next destination. We'll go to the Wahomie jungle. After a good night's rest, I arrived at the docks. We had little time before the ship would be ready, so I skimmed some stones on the water. A trader walked up to me and pleaded for my help. He asked for a message to be delivered to the chief of a village that we should surely stumble upon during our trek. Yeah, sure, why not? It's the letter which I promised to deliver. So I gotta find a tribal village. This is probably the village right there. I dare not recount the trials and tribulations of the voyage, but thankfully we reached the land of our imminent adventure. I knew this place held something special for us. Got the letter, we got some whiskey, got some torches. I insisted we secure the best possible tools for the quest that faced us. A lack of readiness and resources would doom the trek from the onset, which I would not permit. However, I could not shake the feeling that the captain wanted me to leave post-haste. I made sure to bring some additional water rations for from our vessel's stocks. I had to carefully consider our options and be prepared for our forthcoming expedition. However, if the society statue was to be mine, we needed to strike out in haste. Yeah, let's begin. Perhaps we should endeavor to deliver the letter first. Conveniently, the man had marked the location of the village on our map. Alright, yeah, let's do that. We carefully approached a mysterious native village. The people here effortlessly demanded respect as they were some form of religious unity. I could smell that they had just prepared food. The village kindly beckoned us over, and offered some of their freshly cooked food. Sure, why not? The villagers observed us with curiosity. They were kind and offered to help our cause. Upon our arrival, Banafshe Meta began to converse with the natives. We brought the letter to the village chief. The elderly chief was a compulsive talker and regaled us with stories of the greatest wonders to look upon in the region, including a holy shrine, which he marked on our map. We felt more than welcome, and the villagers were seemingly excited about our presence. Oh my god, I'm sorry, excuse me. That just came out. We got a gun. I don't think we need spears. I talked to the villagers to see if some of them were interested enough to seek fame and glory. Not long after, I had assembled some volunteers and had to decide on a new recruit. A shaman, an animal handler, a donkey. So the donkey adds to our capacity a lot. Let's take a donkey. The natives appeared happy to give us one of their animals. We called him Mr. Sanders. Our time with the natives was a delight. They remained friendly and offered us more help. Well, let's just leave. We packed up the trek and sallied forth, as new adventures could be waiting over the next ridge. So that's the shrine they were talking about. But I want to see what this is. We entered a mysterious-looking hut. It was dark and damp inside, with all kinds of dried herbs and other peculiar things hanging from the walls. A native shaman approached us with an absent stare as he chewed on some leaves. Rather skittishly, the shaman got out a small crate and presented his wares. He's got horn flutes, so distracting wildlife with that. Bad luck on rivals. That looks oddly like the thing from the Pinhead movies. I can't think of their name right now. Tome page of Homebound, a page that was ripped from an ancient tome. It is written in unearthly alien letters, but for some reason you can read it. Water drain, abomination, fertile lands. I just don't see that anything's. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like anything's worth trading there. Let's go down here. Explore the cave. We approached a cave. The entrance led to darkness of an unknown depths. We needed a torch to explore its secrets. Yeah, we got plenty of torches. Let's do that. We lit a torch and descended into the darkness. We discovered a remarkable underground body of water. The water was clear as day, sustaining the growth of vegetation, primarily many colorful mushrooms. If we were to invest a little time, we would surely be able to collect a few samples. What does this do? Collect mushrooms. It took a little while, but we managed to pick a few mushrooms. Cool. So I want to get over the Golden Pyramid somewhere up. Well, yeah, it's somewhere up there. But hey, what's that? We arrived at a majestic structure, seemingly a holy shrine to the inhabitants of the region. All manner of plant life grew towards the sun. A circle of dried up blood had been drawn around the whole structure as a warning for anybody that dared to enter. The structure showed some long cracks, but it seemed safe enough to explore. Before us lay some kind of ceremonial room. We quietly looked around the majestic hall. An altar illuminated with breathtaking ambience stood atop the plinth. A large golden plate covered with delicate decorations with embedded chrysocolla, turquoise, and then the metal cube. I would not leave empty-handed. The treasure was ours for the taking. The moment we obtained the treasure, the earth began to shake wildly. We hurried outside as the shrine was swallowed up by the earth and a huge mountain erupted from the underground. What is that? Healing springs. It'll take us 31 to get there. It might be worth seeing. Our trek ceased at a natural hot water springs. The water had a strong coloring. Its healing capabilities were more than obvious. Yeah, let's just rest. We settled down to catch our breath. The night was bleak and everyone was seemingly worn out as we sat by the campfire. I was writing into my journal when I heard the group laughing about something. Curious, I listened to them and noticed to my dismay that Banaface Mehta was apparently imitating me. The group immediately hushed when they noticed me, but I feared my reputation was already tarnished. Well, let it slip, whatever. I decided that the situation was already stressful enough and did not want to make much ado over a comparative minor event. Nevertheless, I observed that Alpine shook his head disapprovingly. I wondered if he would now think less of me as leader of this group. Uh-oh. Oh, we have two donkeys. I didn't realize that. The hell? Everyone enjoyed the sojourn. It was most trying to convince people to pack up crates as we prepared to leave. Bathing in the hot springs had astoundingly healed our wounds. Hey. Oh, that's the Golden Pyramid. The Golden Pyramid loomed above one and all. Hooray! After weeks of traveling, great joy overcame me. I knew that the name Charles Darwin would remain synonymous with victory. Okay. So I actually completed an expedition. Interesting. So what happens now? Black Market. Access more gear when equipping your trek before heading into the unknown. Impetus. Reduces the base sanity cost for traveling. Oh, that might be really good. Waterproof. Reduced movement cost. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Move more with less sanity loss? What? Why else would I pick anything else? Okay, so I'm a little bit behind these other three, but not by much. These guys are getting their dicks sucked. I don't know what any of these... large golden plate. Okay, so you can actually do more. Okay, cool. Cool. Alright, we'll go to the desert. Full of anticipation. Sorry. I made my way to the docks There were still some arrangements to be made, so I had one last pot of tea. A one-eyed hunter proposed an interesting offer. He had heard about my trek and told me a story about a vicious hyena called Snarfrattle. Snarfrattle. He despised the creature with all of his heart and wanted to kill it. A handsome reward would await me if I hunted it down and returned its fur. Yeah, I'll try. He nodded gratefully and wished us luck on our hunt. The news of my glorious adventures had spread, so I was not surprised to see that boarding of our ship had drawn quite a crowd. I was approached by several capable persons that were hungry for glory and adventure. Who did I want to recruit? Soldier, cook. I'll take a cook. We surely could make use of a food expert such as Antoine Rowe in our crew. The captain informed me that our vessel had reached maximum cabin capacity. I would need to dismiss someone if we were inclined to set sail. And get rid of one of these donkeys. We had to leave Mr. Sanders behind. I had to judge what I gathered by what I lost, and I was sure I would be happier staying here anyway. I rejoined as our vessel was primed to head for the distant shores. A master crafter of saddles offered to improve the carrying capacity of any of our animals. Her price was rather steep, but we could surely use additional crates. After checking our funds, I realized that we would not have enough funds to pay. Okay. Climbing gear. We could use more machetes. Snowshoe eases traveling over snowy underground. Actually, we're in the desert. Will we need machetes? I doubt we're going to need them. Climbing gear makes passing through elevated territory much easier. Desert, I don't know how important that'll be. Rope. Empty canvas for drawing pictures. Shovels can be used to dig things up. We still have 2 torches. Maybe I'll get 1 torch. Chocolate rations. I don't think we have anything to refill sanity, so I might want some rations. Just do that. Expedition 2. The open seas were glorious to sail upon, and I was somewhat sad when we arrived at our expedition area. The land lay open in front of us like an invitation to an adventure. Let's see what this ship's got. Nothing. Got plenty of water. Let's just begin. Okay. So the Golden Pyramid from here. We don't know. Well, that's going to take... This is desert, so it seems like going through desert costs water, it looks like. Let's get over to here. What is this? The village. We entered a native village. This group were apparently a clan of powerful warriors and protectors of this region. We entered the settlement of a nomadic tribe. We were not the only visitors to this village. A wandering trader and self-proclaimed beastmaster had displayed a few mysteriously covered crates. The villagers observed us with curiosity. They were polite and offered to help our cause. Upon our arrival, Banafshe Meta began to converse with the natives. They have water. It can only hold 20, so 6 is all we would want. That might be, well, shit. I'm gonna sell all of the machetes. I doubt we'll need machetes. Although I wasn't really looking at the map. I might have missed something. Cocoa leaves. For sanity, I already have, well, as darkness fell, the natives lit a campfire and invited us to sit with them. A young child was so excited about our stay that he ran up to me with his arms wide to embrace. A rash was clearly visible on his neck and arms. Just allow it. I did not want to appear rude and allowed the child to hug me. I prayed to God that the affliction was not infectious. I slept in great comfort and safety. The following morning I awoke to laughter of the natives. Our extended presence was perceived well by the natives. They remained courteous and offered us more help. I greeted the Beastmaster. His trader seemed to roam. Fuck it. Leave. What's this? I inspected the mysterious overgrown granite figurine. The uncannily crafted eyes seemed to stare at us. It was a disconcerting sight, and I desired to move on. I saw some items by the statue, which must have been put there by people from a nearby village. They were surely sacrificial offerings. Yeah, we don't need any of that. I don't want to get the natives pissed at us. Trader. A trading caravan had pitched up camp here. The colorfully dressed trader had a lot of valuable goods on offer. Most of them seemed to be the remains of other failed expeditions. What do you got? Mini puppets. Treasure map. Three treasure maps. That's probably the hyena that the guy was telling me about. Panther. We stood before a temple comprised of huge stones. Its stone walls were covered with ornate engravings. Low-hanging vines partially concealed the entrance that led within. The structure showed some long cracks, but it seemed safe enough to explore. We carefully entered a well-preserved ceremonial chamber. We quietly looked around the majestic hall. Our steps echoed as we approached the sacred altar. A golden llama and a golden head. I'm taking it. I don't care. What a glorious day. The artifact would sit atop the altar no longer. The moment we obtained the treasure, the earth began to shift. We hurried outside as the shrine tumbled in our wake, and huge mountains erupted from the ground. So mountains just make it harder to go through the area. Looks like we gotta go this way to get to this thing still. I want to fight this hyena. That appears to be the end of our gaming session. I'm gonna go for a little bit longer. We deprived the remains of anything useful. So we beat the panther. The pelt of a panther, it's still bloody and emits a disgusting stench. Good for trading. Piece of raw meat cannot be eaten unless cooked. Okay. Animal tooth. Good for trading. I'm completely out of... Oh, no, I'm not. Interesting. Now it looks like... Oh, no. This might be where the golden pyramid is. We're going to run out of water, which is greatly going to diminish our ability to stay alive. Stay sane, at least. Without access to medical equipment, it was nearly impossible to prevent an injury from becoming infected. Benafshe Mehta's wound was beginning to look particularly nauseating. Oh, I didn't realize I could upgrade these guys. Upgrade him. I came across a fascinating more than 3-meter high stone statue. Its cold eyes seemed to look right at us. It was a disconcerting sight, and I desired to move on. I noticed a few items by the statue, which must have been put there by people from the nearby village. They were surely sacrificial offerings. Yeah, I don't want any of those. Where in the hell is the altar? Or is the golden pyramid? I can't even get over there. I think this expedition's pretty fucked. I need to go back to the village to get some water. Actually, this was the wrong place. Where's the village? Uh-oh. I think we're in trouble here. Someone was missing this morning. I counted heads and saw Banafshe Mehta sitting in the nearby bushes. Her hands and face covered in blood, she was gnawing on half-eaten human leg. I could not believe my eyes as I understood that Anton Rowe had been killed and cannibalized. Uh-oh. I'm just going to try to end this. I think we're going to die here, so fuck it. Nice. Alright. There. The natives were willing to let us rest in an empty hut, however they demanded tribute because of our less than virtuous reputation. That's fine. We have lots of stuff to trade. Get some more standing. We convinced the villagers of our good intentions, so we unpacked our belongings and prepared to spend the night with natives at their campfire. The village chief offered to prepare us a feast to celebrate our visit. However, we would need to hand over one of our animals so it could be prepared as food. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I got a splendid night's rest. The following morning I was awoken by a group of native children surely poking fun at the strange foreign fellow. We could not shake off our feeling that we had stressed the hospitality of our villagers more than politeness would dictate. Let's trade, because I need water. I want all of your water. Trade all of that, and I need some of that shit. Let's do that. Leave. Continue. Okay. Now, where in the hell is this golden pyramid? Could it possibly be that far away? Jesus Christ. What is that? Chronic fatigue had pushed Banaf Shemeta over the edge and she succumbed to her wounds today. Uh-oh. I didn't realize that people could just die randomly. Oh, we're overburdened. Without access to mental, it was nearly impossible to prevent an injury from becoming infected. Uh-oh. So there's lots of mechanics I don't fully understand yet in this game. We came across a stone circle that was obviously man-made. There were inscriptions etched into the rock. Perhaps they formed a type of map. Yeah, we're about to die here. I can't even get over there. Anxiety spread amongst the group. Heck Alpine told us that he had been so nervous that he dropped an item during our previous leg of our journey. Ah, shit, you fucker. The trek arrived at a jungle clearing with a substantial stone altar in its center. Despite the lush vegetation surrounding it, the altar was in perfect shape. A hewn depression was filled with the magically clean water. Markings indicated that objects would be sacrificed by placing them in the water. Might as well sacrifice something. I'm gonna sacrifice everything. Okay, there's not enough to... Okay, let's just kill ourselves, because it's gonna happen anyways. Times were dreadful, and Heck Alpine was my only human companion. It was just a matter of spending enough time together until we got into a tiring argument. I don't exactly recall how it started, but it involved an indecent account about the vastness of my physique and my outfit. We did not speak for the rest of the day. Come on, just kill each other already. We were exhausted and terribly hungry. As the night fell, Heck Alpine approached me with a suggestion. If we butchered one of our animals, we would regain much needed injury. No, not doing that. He has no loyalty to me anymore. I instructed everyone to form a line and prepare for the darkness. We pressed forth into the eerie gloom. At first I thought we could make it, but then I registered a muttered curse followed by someone shrieking. I could not tell how long we labored in the gloom, but eventually we saw a light and endeavored to reach the source. I saw that Heck Alpine was bleeding, his injury was grim, and he was unable to tell me what exactly happened. We arrived at a small cavern scattered with the aftermath of what seemed to be a failed expedition. The few mortal remains were long rotten, all the bones we found had been cracked open, and it seemed sucked empty of marrow. We were delighted to see that one of the corpses was still clinging to useful equipment. Still alive somehow. How have we not killed each other yet? Heck Alpine insisted that he heard a whining noise in the distance and decided to take the lead. While walking a few steps behind, I noticed him constantly scratching his neck and saw something that looked like a moving hive of insects just under his skin. I wondered how he could not have noticed getting it, and told him to keep monitoring this thing. Uh-oh. Mr. Alpine seems to be suffering from some kind of plague. How have we not died yet? Is that it? Is that the pyramid? The constant strain on our minds has resulted in neglect of personal hygiene. Heck Alpine was suffering from a debilitating case of swamp foot, which caused him excruciating pain while traveling. Maybe waiting until the wound had cured would have been shrewder on my part. I don't care. Our arduous trek had exhausted Heck Alpine, and he succumbed to his wounds today. I'm all alone with my donkey. We went through the gate and were greeted by an old missionary. He was seemingly happy to see new faces as he had been out here for quite some time. I can't believe Heck died right before we got here. Got nothing. Trade. These could have come in handy a little while ago. I'll take some of this. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna die. I know it. It's just a matter of time. The desert changed before our eyes to an undistinguishable sea of sand. This was when it happened. I was reviewing our equipment when I heard panicked shrieking. Miss Jackson was sinking deeper into the ghastly pit of quicksand. Sorry, Miss Jackson. There was nothing I could do but watch as Miss Jackson was swallowed alive by the quicksand. No need to risk other lives on this quagmire. I'm all by myself now. These are my last words. I am alone. The unknown holds only death and misery. Come ye darkness, come ye death. Take my soul after my last breath. God forgive us, Charles Darwin. I died. All right. And that's Curious Expedition. It's somewhat similar to... What's the name of that game? there's another game where you go on expeditions. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but it's also another roguelite. I don't know if it was made by the same people or if the same people left and made that game. I also can't remember if it came out after or before this one. Regardless, it's a roguelike. I don't think it's a roguelite in essence because I don't see any persistent uh, progress. I mean, maybe the persistent progress is unlocking other expedition leaders here. Other than that, it seems like you just go in. Well, hold on. If I pick Darwin, you always start with okay. So there's no additional loadouts to any of the characters. So it's almost like a point and click adventure game, but with elements of resource management in it. It also seems extremely hard. Not that I was really trying that much. By the time I got to the second expedition, I felt like I had seen pretty much all the game had to offer, and thus I kind of stopped caring as much. And then by the end of it, I was just trying to get everybody killed. But I mean, if you're in the market for a text-based adventure roguelike game, um, this one seems fine. The combat system's a little simple, at least on first glance. Maybe it's a little. I guess it could be a little bit more in depth than I originally assumed it to be. What is good is the writing. The writing's pretty good. And the encounters you get into are pretty interesting. And I could see this being a fun game if you had enough time to devote to it. I just don't really have as much time as I'd like anymore these days. And thus, reading a point-and-click adventure game is just not something I'm really going to do. So I probably will never play this ever again. But it's a good game. So if you're in the market for this type of game, I fully recommend it. Anyways, without further ado, thank you for watching.